Well, we know that the shooting happened around 3:20 this morning. Like you mentioned, 2 men were shot from this incident. This is a live look of the scene right now. The shooting happened at an apartment complex off of the 1500 block of West William Cannon Drive here in South Austin. 2 men had to be transported to the hospital with potentially life-threatening injuries. We know one man is in his 30s, second is in his 60s. EMS has cleared the scene. They were the first ones to respond here. Austin police are still here. You can see a group of officers gathered beyond this patrol car talking about what is going on. Still don't have a whole lot of information, but we do know 2 men were hurt from this shooting, and this is the 3rd shooting to happen in less than 24 hours. Back to you in the studio. Hey, good morning to both of you. The shooting happened around 3:15 this morning at an apartment complex. The exact location is in the 1500 block of West William Cannon Drive here in South Austin. 2 men were shot. According to Austin Travis County EMS, both have serious, potentially life-threatening injuries. One man is in his 30s and the other is in his 60s. Both had to be taken to a local hospital. Now coming out back live, about 15 or 20 minutes ago, a group of officers and a canine went back beyond that chain link fence you see under the bridge. Right now it's unclear what exactly they're looking for, but we do know there's railroad tracks on the other side. So they've been back there for roughly 20 minutes now. Group of officers with the canine unit, and they had a flashlight with no information right now regarding a suspect. Back to you. Well, we know that 2 men were shot. One is in his 30s, the other in his 60s. According to Austin Travis County EMS, the shooting happened around 3:15 this morning at an apartment complex in the 1500 block of West William Cannon Drive in South Austin. Now, we told you about a group of officers with a canine that went back beyond this yellow police tape under the bridge. Well, they just came out a few minutes ago, and the officer paired with the canine was heavily armed. He had a bulletproof vest and what appeared to be a shotgun. So we still don't know if there is a suspect at large, if they're looking for a suspect, but we do know that a pretty large area is blocked off while police investigate the shooting. Crime scene unit got here probably about 5-10 minutes ago. So 2 men were shot. Both are said to have life-threatening injuries. Back to you. Hey, good morning to both of you. We are just learning some new information about this shooting. We just found out, according to Austin police, that this apartment complex is not exactly where the shooting happened. According to APD, it happened beyond that chain link fence under the bridge. Austin police say that the 2 men were shot there. Then they walked out into the parking lot of this apartment complex, begging for someone to help. A resident was on his patio, saw blood all over those 2 victims, and called 911. Police believe the 2 men are related and homeless. A handful of officers then took a canine and went looking for the suspect under the bridge. After an hour-long search, they came back and were not able to find anyone. Police say the victims are in stable condition, and the only information they can give on a suspect is that it was a man. The 2 victims told police that they were sleeping, and the suspect just came up to them and shot them. We do know one is in his 30s, the other in his 60s. Back to you. Hey, good morning to both of you guys. Austin police say those 2 men are in stable condition. They also gave us some new information regarding their age. They believe they're in their 20s and 50s. But right now, Austin police are concentrating their investigation under the William Cannon Bridge. You do see the yellow police tape along the chain link fence. They say that's where the 2 men were shot. They were sleeping, believed to be related and homeless. The 2 men then emerged from that area. A resident in this apartment complex was on the patio, heard them screaming. The 2 victims were begging for this resident to call 911 for help. Austin police went back into that area with a canine for about an hour looking for a suspect, but unfortunately they came out and were not able to locate anyone.
So the area in which they were located, when the suspects attacked them, is actually very dark under the bridge. We went down to search the area, and the victims weren't able to give us a good suspect description because it's so dark. So we don't have a good suspect description at this time.
And And when police were under that bridge, unfortunately, they did not find anyone to ask them for more information to see if there was a witness to this shooting. So right now, Austin police are currently working at two crime scenes. The first one being under that bridge and then this parking lot of the apartment complex off of William Cannon, where those two victims emerged and they were covered in blood. That is according to Austin police, say that they were shot in their upper torso area. Back to you. Hey, good morning to both of you guys. The actual shooting happened underneath the William Cannon Bridge here. You see that the fence is open. Police say two men were shot and they were asleep when that happened. They then walked out from under the bridge into this parking lot of the apartments. A resident was on his patio and saw the victims covered in blood and called 911 immediately. Now, police did bring in a K9, went under this bridge with a handful of officers searching for a suspect for nearly an hour.
So the area in which they were located, where when the suspects attacked them, is actually very dark under the bridge. We went down to search the area, and the victims weren't able to give us a good suspect description because it's so dark. So we don't have a good suspect description at this time.
Police were not able to find anyone underneath there. The only description the victims could give police at this time is that it was a man. Both of those men had to be taken to a hospital. Right now, they're in stable condition. Their ages 20 and somewhere in their 20s and 50s. Police believe the two men are related and are homeless. Again, no word or description on a suspect other than the fact that it is a man. Back to you. Hey, good morning to both of you. The shooting happened around 3:15 this morning. Police tell us the shooting actually occurred beyond this fence you see here under the William Cannon Bridge. Two people were injured. They tell police they were sleeping when they got shot. Police believe the victims are related and homeless. They had to be transported to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. An officer tells us right now they're stable. After they were shot, they walked into the parking lot of this apartment building begging for help. Police then went under the bridge to look for a suspect for nearly an hour, but unfortunately, they were not able to locate anyone. So as of now, a suspect is still on the loose. Back to you in the studio. Hey, good morning to both of you. Police have cleared the scene. They also tell us that the exact location of where this shooting happened was in this bridge area where you see a train going by right now. This is under the William Cannon Bridge. It happened around 3:20 this morning. Those two victims tell police they were sleeping when they were shot. Then they walked out from under the bridge into the parking lot of the apartments. A resident was on his patio and saw the victims covered in blood and called 911 immediately. Police took a K9 inside the area where the shooting happened, but unfortunately did not find a suspect. And this is the parking lot where those two victims came out and pleading for someone to call 911. Those two men, believed to be related, also homeless. They had to be taken to the hospital with life-threatening injuries, but at last check, Austin police tell us that they are in stable condition. Hey, good morning, Lauren. That shooting happened around 3:20 this morning. At first, we thought it happened in the parking lot of an apartment complex, but then once we spoke to Austin police, they say the shooting actually took place in underneath the William Cannon Bridge, again around 3:20 this morning. Two victims were shot. Both were men. They tell police they were sleeping when they got shot. Police believe the victims are related and homeless. They had to be transported to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. An officer says right now they're in stable condition. After they were shot, they walked into the parking lot of this apartment building begging for help. Now, police did go back there with a K9 for nearly an hour searching for a suspect. They did not find anyone. Those two victims were shot in the upper torso area, again, believed to be in stable condition. Their ages somewhere in the 20s and 50s. Back to you.